Bonjour et bienvenue à French with Monique. Aujourd'hui, nous allons faire la conjugaison. Hi, welcome to French with Monique. Today, we are going to be treating conjugation. Conjugation in French is one of the major topics because it covers every sentence you use in French. There is no day that you don't use a word that is conjugated because there is no day you don't make a sentence. So in French, you must know your conjugation. In fact, if you don't know conjugation, you can't speak French. This is like the major challenge for French speakers, conjugating verbs in their right tenses. So we are going to be learning conjugation today, and we are going to be doing it in the simple present tense. First of all, I need you to know that, just like we said in one of our classes, that there are a lot of verbs in French, so many, but these verbs have been grouped into three to make it easy for us. Verbs in the first group end in ER. Take note, I didn't say that all ER verbs are first group verbs. I said verbs in the first group end with ER. The difference between these two statements is that verbs in the first group have ER as their ending, but not all ER verbs are verbs of the first group. For example, a verb like aller, the verb to go, it ends with ER, but it's not in the first group. So let's just stick with verbs in the first group have their ending as ER. So any verb we put in the first group must have ER as their end. The second group verbs are verbs that end with IR. And again, verbs in the second group are verbs that end with IR. And not all IR verbs are verbs in the second group. And verbs in the third groups are mostly referred to irregular verbs. So this is where we have all the other verbs, both those ones that have ER that are not in the first group, those ones that have IR that are not in the second group, and other verbs that end with OIR or RE, or however, all those other verbs, just dump them in the third group. Basically, let me just call it dumping them. So we're going to take our time. We're going to have a lot of conjugation topics or a lot of conjugation lecture on this channel. So for today, we're going to start with the simple ER verbs, the first group verbs, the verbs that end with ER that are first group verbs. You need to have a dictionary, and you also need to have a conjugation book to be able to know a lot of verbs that are first group verbs. Trust me, with a conjugation book, it will help you. If you don't have a conjugation book, you can download any conjugation app on your phone so that it can help you to know how to conjugate, because sometimes there are some nuances when it comes to these verbs and you need to know them, and what will help you to know them is your conjugation book. Voila. So we'll start with the ER verbs. So there are so many verbs in the first group. We have parler, we have manger, we have balayer, we have voyager, créer. There are so many. There are so many verbs in the first group that end with ER. But I'm going to start with the verb parler because it's a verb to speak, and because I am speaking. To make it simple, I have broken down conjugation into 3 steps. Before we even conjugate, what is this conjugation all about? I've expressed it before in one of the classes, but I want to make it more simpler. So conjugation is simply a change that takes place in the life of a verb to reflect the tense, the gender, the number, the mood, basically. Now, when a verb is in its state, in its first state, that state is called its infinitive state, le verbe à l'infinitif. That means the verb is not conjugated the way the mother gave birth to it. That is how it is. So, for example, the verb parler, that verb is verb à l'infinitif. That means the verb in its basic state. It has not been touched, it has not been violated, it's just there, parler. But by the time you begin to change it to suit tenses, to suit mood, to suit persons, it is now conjugated. Let's just say that. So let me give you an example in English. To be is a verb, to be. So when you want to change to be now, it becomes I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, they are, you are. So that is simply conjugation. So in French, that is what happens. Conjuguer le verbe parler. So conjugate the verb parler. So you have already written the parler, right? So the first thing you will do is to write down the personal pronouns, all of them, in their right order and in their right groups. So in their right order will be je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. In their right groups will be il, elle, on. You have the same group. You be on the same group. So you have il, ou, elle, ou, on. As if you want to use on. Sometimes most people just leave the on. Just use il and elle. Just like in the plural, you also use il and elle. So you must write down your personal pronouns in their correct order and group. So we have je, tu, il ou elle, nous, vous, il ou elle. So you have written your personal pronoun. That is the first step to conjugation. I told you this is my own method to make it simple for you. Other people may decide to use another method, but for me, this is the method I've been using, and it has actually been easy for my learners to understand conjugation. First step, write down the personal pronoun. So when you write them down in their normal groups, it will be 6. Je, tu, il ou elle, nous, vous, il ou elle. So there are 6. The next step is that you look at the verb that you have been given to conjugate. So remember, our question is conjuguer le verbe parler. Look at parler. What makes parler a first group verb is the fact that it has an ER on it. So you are going to relinquish it of that position by cancelling ER. So you take your pencil or your pen, just cross ER. So when you see parler, you cross ER. And then when you cross ER, what will be left? You're having PARL. Remember, we are still on the second step. We've just finished the first step. The second step is that you look at the verb parler and remove ER. Remove what makes it an ER verb. Just remove it. ER. And when you remove ER, you're having PARL. Pal. Now, this is still on the second step. We have not moved to the third step. The second step has 2 segments. After removing ER and you have pal, you now bring down pal and write with the personal pronoun. So you're having je parle, tu parles, il ou elle parle. So just write pal to the end, to the last person there. That is second step complete. When you do that, your second step is complete. I will repeat it. The second step has 2 segments. The first segment is that you cancel ER. You take away what makes parler and ER verb. Just cancel it. And you have PAL, P-A-R-L. And then you transfer that PAL to all the personal pronouns you had already written. So you're having PAL, 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 PAL. With a space, give a space. So you have je parle, tu parles, il ou elle parle, nous parle, vous parle, il ou elle parle. That is second step. Remember, there are 3 steps. The third step is the step that will make you to memorize. This is the third and last step. And once you get this step, you are done. Conjugation got nothing on you. The third step is this. There is something we call les terminaisons, meaning the endings. Each group of verbs have their ending. So first group verbs have their ending. What you just need to learn is to memorize those endings and you are done. So the endings of first group verb in their order is E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. There are 6 and it is that order. E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. You are going to say it intentionally this time, and after this time you close your eyes to see if you have memorized it. So we say it together. E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. So let's close our eyes this time. E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. So if you have gotten this rightly, what you just need to do, remember we call them endings. So that means they are supposed to be attached to that pal. They are the endings of all those pal you wrote. No space this time. Attach them to pal. So you're having P-A-R-L-E for the first person, P-A-R-L-E-S for the second person, P-A-R-L-E for the third person, P-A-R-L-O-N-S for the fourth person, P-A-R-L-E-Z for the fifth person, P-A-R-L-E-N-T for the sixth person. C'est fini. C'est tout. You are finished. So, when you have done this, you have something like this. Je parle. Tu parles. Il ou elle parle. Nous parlons. Vous parlez. Il parle. That is what you're going to have. It is as simple as A, B, C. It's not rocket science. You see how it is? You see how simple it is? Very demure, very cute, very nice. You need to know that you understand this conjugation because I love to receive feedback. Kindly give me feedback. I need you to conjugate the verb marcher. To match, marcher, M-A-R-C-H-E-R, marcher. If you can conjugate one first group verb, you can conjugate all first group verb. There are just little nuances somewhere, but I tell you, if you start like this, you can conjugate all verbs in the first group. So don't be scared. And so for me to be sure that you understand, I really want this feedback. It's important to me to know that you understand because that's even my goal for having this channel, for you to understand that French is simple and you can learn it simply. I need to know. Conjugate the verb marcher in the comment section. Don't forget the 3 steps I told you. In case you forget, you can go over again to this video. It's allowed. You can repeat it and watch it until you get it. There are just 3 steps. The first step, you write down your personal pronouns. The second step, 2 segments. You cancel the ER and whatever is left, you transfer it in their order like that. For example, marcher, now you're having mash, 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 mash. And then the last step is to add their endings, which are E, ES, EONS, EZ and ENT. Just add them to match and you're correct. So I'll be waiting for you in the comment section. I hope you found value for this class because I can hear you telling me merci beaucoup. And I will say, je vous en prie, until I come your way on the next episode. À bientôt.